observation of the previous experiment that we were doing, that is, we have taken the two columns. In the first column, we have the substances that we just put in the 5 beakers, and the results we are going to write that if they disappear in the water completely or do not disappear at all. So the first one is salt. So whenever you put salt in the water, it disappears completely. Secondly, we have sugar. So sugar, when you put sugar in the water, it also disappears completely. You can try it at your home also, but here I'm just drawing the diagrammatic representation of how it looks like. So I have taken this mark as the water, the amount of water we have in the beaker. Now I am putting sugar in it and salt in it, that is differently. So the solution will look clear. It will look clear, means showing that sugar and salt dissolved completely in the water. Next, we have sand. Sand do not disappear. Also, it is insoluble in the water. So what you do is take a small amount of sand wherever you find it and put it in the beaker. So I'm just showing you the second representation of how it looks like. So we have water content like this and we have put sand in it. So how it will look like? It's all grains because ये क्या होता है, थोड़ा heavy होता है, so it settles down at the bottom in the beaker inside the water. So this particular grainy substance that I've just drawn, that is the sand which has settled at the bottom of the beaker. So as you can as you can see clearly that it does not dissolve in the water. Also, अगर dissolve नहीं होता तो disappear तो क्या होगा? So it is clearly visible at the bottom of the beaker. Next we have chalk powder. So here is the beaker. I have put chalk powder in it. This is the level of the water I have just drawn. I am putting chalk powder in it. So how will it look like? अब ये कैसा दिखेगा? Chalk powder के साथ it will look or give a cloudy appearance. Means you'll see water that it has dissolved somewhat. थोड़ा बहुत dissolve हो गया है, but disappear नहीं हुआ. Means you are not able to see the clear water completely. You are only looking at the whitish water, and that color this water has attained because of the chalk powder. Chalk powder होने की वजह से इसका जो color है वो थोड़ा whitish हो चुका है, white में convert हो चुका है. Same we have next the milk powder. एक हमने extra addition की है milk powder की. So मैं इसको यहाँ पे इसलिए लिख रही हूँ because it will also give you a little cloudy appearance या whitish appearance when we put it into the water. Last we have sawdust. Sawdust चूरा जो हमने बात की थी जिसकी wheat से निकलता है या कहीं किसी का भी जो चूरा निकल सकता है. It's very light in weight and थोड़ा solid जैसा substance होता है. So this is the level of water and these are the sawdust we are talking about. Right? So light weight होने की वजह से yes, कुछ नीचे चले जाते हैं जो हल्के से heavier weight के होंगे, and also some will float. They will float also according to the weight they have. कि कितने अगर पतले हुए या हल्के हुए, so they will tend to float on the water. But as you can see, they are not disappeared completely. बिल्कुल गायब नहीं हुए हैं पानी से. These are the sawdust we are talking about. So these were the observations. ये हमें दिखाती हैं about the properties of substances, whether they are insoluble or not, and if we can prepare any solution with them for our own use. So we have some conclusions after the observations that we just saw, that substances dissolved completely in water are substances soluble in water. Means we are talking about the substances that do get dissolved completely in the water and because of which the solution looks really clear. Means those substances are soluble in water. It's their property of getting totally or completely dissolved in the water that shows their solubility in the water. Means कि वो पूरे तरीके से soluble हो चुके हैं, giving out the clear solution. Next we have is substances that do not get mixed with water are substances insoluble in water. सो हमने इसके भी एग्जांपल्स देखे थे कि ऐसे सब्सटेंसेस जब आप उन्हें मिक्स भी करते हैं वाटर पे तो दे डू नॉट गेट डिसअपियर्ड कंप्लीटली और दे आर विजिबल क्लियरली इन द वाटर. सो those substances are called as insoluble substances in their property. So soluble जो substances हमने पढ़े थे उसमें हमारे पास एग्जाम्पल्स कौन कौन से थे? हमारे पास एग्जाम्पल थे soluble के. आप रिकॉल खुद भी करिए एंड आई एम ऑल्सो राइटिंग इट ऑन दी बोर्ड दैट soluble substances were sugar. Sugar was completely soluble and another soluble substance was salt. It was also completely soluble in the water. Next we have insoluble substances. So insoluble substances कौन से होते हैं जो बिल्कुल भी soluble नहीं होते हैं? So such type of substances we studied about sand. Sand का हमने example देखा था. Also we saw the example of sawdust. Sawdust. So these were the examples of insoluble substances. On top of it, water plays important role in functioning of our body. एक तो वाटर में सब्सटेंसेस सॉल्युबल इनसॉल्युबल से हम डिफरेंट अपने काम करते हैं, उसको यूज में लेके आते हैं. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट वी नो दैट वाटर इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर आवर बॉडी कि हमारा जो मैक्सिमम परसेंटेज है हमारी बॉडी का दैट इज मेड अप विद वाटर. सो वाटर का कंटेंट, पानी पीना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इट कीप्स आवर बॉडी हेल्दी एंड what else that it dissolves a large number of substances in it. As we have saw कि आपको कितने ही अगर सॉल्यूशन बनाने हो डिफरेंट मटेरियल लेके डिफरेंट कंपाउंड्स लेके या व्हाटएवर वी हैव, सो कितने ही हम बनाते हैं जब हम एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन करते हैं इन लैबोरेटरीज ऑल्सो. अभी तो आपके सिलेबस में वो नहीं है बट इन हायर क्लासेस यू विल गेट टू नो अबाउट देम ऑल्सो. सो वी हैव डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ सब्सटेंसेस फ्रॉम विच वी मेक डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ सॉल्यूशंस. तो उसमें भी हम वाटर का बहुत यूज करते हैं. So here's another activity, small activity of some solutions that are being mixed in the water, and we are going to see the observation that how they perform when they get mixed in the water. So collect sample of vinegar, lemon juice, mustard oil and kerosene. So these 4 liquid we have taken and that we are going to mix in the water. Now what we have to do? Take half filled tumbler with water for each sample. Means if we have 4 samples, for example we have vinegar, so we will take tumbler half filled with water. This is number 1, and another for lemon juice, that is number 2, and what else? Kerosene oil के लिए लेंगे number 3, and for mustard oil we will take 4th tumbler, all half filled with the water, right? So next step is mix them each and observe. So in the first tumbler we have put vinegar in the first tumbler. In the second one we have put lemon juice I'll write here. And in the third one, let's say we have put mustard oil, and in the fourth one we have put kerosene oil. So what will be the result after we mix them well in the tumbler filled with water? So these are the observations. We have 2 columns again, one with substances and second the observation that if they mix well in the water or do not. So first one we have is vinegar. So when you put vinegar in the water, it mixes well. So the solution will be clear, as you can see. Secondly, we have lemon juice. Lemon juice also mixes well, so you will find the solution clear in the second case also. Third one we have mustard oil. Now here is the issue that mustard oil does not mixes with the water, so it will just form a layer on the top of the layer with the water. Means on top of the water it will form another layer of oil जिसमें आपको differentiate हो जाएगा that this layer is of oil and this is the remaining water. So why is that so? ऐसा क्यों होता है? Because जो mustard oil होता है उसको पानी बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं आता है. It hates water. It does not likes to mix with the water. ऐसे substances को जो water से डरते हैं, means they fear water, कि वो अपने में ही घुस के सो जाते हैं. Like सारे मॉलिक्यूल्स एक के साथ आके गैंग बना लेते हैं. सो इन दैट केस दो सब्सटेंसेस आर कॉल्ड एज हाइड्रोफोबिक, मींस दे डू नॉट लाइक वाटर. उनको पानी पसंद ही नहीं आता, राइट? सो दिस वाज अबाउट द मस्टर्ड ऑयल. लास्ट वन इज kerosene. Kerosene oil is same as mustard oil, means property obviously different hai, but result will be the same, that it will also form a layer on top of the water, means it will not get mixed in the water. So आपको separated substances दिखेंगे, water separated दिखेगा and oil भी separated दिखेगा, right? So why? Because kerosene oil की density, heaviness, it's very less as compared to the water. So it will float on the surface of the water. You will see it when you will try on your own. Yes, so what all information we have got after this small activity is some liquids are completely mixed in water, as we have seen. So here is the picture. ये just the process they are showing कि ये mixing चल रही है. After some while it will totally or completely get mixed. So इसके examples हमने क्या देखे थे? What were the examples of the solutions या liquids that were completely mixed in the water? Were lemon juice. Lemon juice था एक जिसका हमने activity छोटी सी की थी. उसके अलावा what we had vinegar. Vinegar was the another example which was soluble in the water. So next thing we have is some form separate layer on water after some time. ये भी हमने देखा था. This is the picture. As you can see in this case, let's take it as a mustard oil. तो हम ये मान लेते हैं कि हमने इसमें मस्टर्ड ऑयल मिक्स किया. सो एज यू कैन सी दैट इट हैज फॉर्म्ड अ सेपरेट लेयर ऑन द वाटर. येलो कलर का सेपरेट लेयर आपको दिख रहा होगा एंड नीचे आपको पानी दिख रहा है. सो व्हाट आर द एग्जांपल्स ऑफ इट? वी हैव मस्टर्ड ऑयल इन दिस केस which forms the separate layer on the water, and what else we have? We have kerosene. These two examples we have seen, which the liquids, those were insoluble in the water. So let's go in a little brief about the gases also. So some gases are soluble in water and some are not. अगर liquids के हमने बारे में पढ़ लिया है, solid के बारे में पढ़ लिया है, soluble है, insoluble है. So we have certain gases also. उसमें से भी among them also some are soluble in the water and some are not. So yes, some gases are dissolved in water in small quantities. कुछ ऐसी gases होती हैं जो पानी में completely तो नहीं, partly dissolved हो जाती हैं. And इसमें से सबसे ज्यादा हम किसके बारे में ध्यान देना चाहेंगे? That is oxygen. Oxygen gas dissolved in water is important for survival of animals and plants. So हम जो पानी भी पीते हैं, अगर उसमें भी ऑक्सीजन का अमाउंट है तो it is also healthy for our body. And apart from that, the oxygen that is present in the oceans also, या water bodies में भी जो present होते हैं, it is very much beneficial for the water animals and water plants.